Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our today's lecture is units. What are units? This is our today's lecture. So in this lecture, first we will define what is a unit. Then we will go to the types of units. How many types of units are there? Then we will discuss the basic units and derived units of different systems. Then at the end, we will discuss how we get the derived units. This is our today's lecture. So first of all, I will define what is a unit. So three things we will discuss in this lecture. What is a unit? First we define unit. Then we'll go to the types of unit. Then we will discuss how we get the derived units. These three things we will discuss in this lecture. So first of all, what is a unit? We will define what is a unit. The minimum amount which is used for the measurement of a physical quantity is called as a unit. The minimum amount which is used for the measurement of a physical quantity is called as a unit. For example, I am going to give you different examples. One meter is the minimum amount which is used to measure length. So 1 meter is the unit of length. 1 meter is the unit of length because 1 meter is the minimum amount which is used for the measurement of length. So 1 meter is the unit of length. Also, I can give you another example. That is 1 kilogram is the minimum amount which is used to measure mass. So 1 kilogram is the unit of mass. 1 kilogram is the unit of mass. So minimum amount which is used for the measurement of a physical quantity is called as a unit. So every physical quantity has its own unit. Every physical quantity has its own unit. So I can give you examples of different units. I can give you examples of different units. So here are given examples of different units. These are different units. For example, meter is a unit, kilogram is a unit, second is a unit, ampere is a unit, Kelvin, candela, mole, meter square, meter cube, meter per second square, Newton, joule, watt, Pascal. All these are the examples of units. And there are so many other examples of units. Now every physical quantity has its own unit. For example, a unit of length is meter, unit of mass is kilogram, unit of time is second, unit of current is ampere, unit of temperature is Kelvin, unit of intensity of light is candela, amount of substance is mole, unit of area is meter square, unit of volume is meter cube. Speed and velocity, they have the same unit, that is meter per second. This is a unit of speed and velocity. Also, acceleration has the unit meter per second square. Force and weight, they have the same unit, that is Newton. Energy and work, they have the same unit, that is joule. So these are the quantities. These are the units. Every physical quantity has its own unit. Unit of power is watt. Unit of pressure is Pascal. Unit of density is kilogram per meter cube. So these are the quantities, these are the units. Every physical quantity has its own unit. Now next is the types of units. Types of unit. There are two types of unit. That is basic units and derived unit. Basic units and derived units. These are two types of unit. Now how we define the basic unit and derived units? First of all, we define the basic units. What are basic units? The units of basic quantities are called basic units. The units of Basic quantities are called basic units. For example, here are given the examples of basic units. For example, meter is a basic unit, kilogram is a basic unit, second is a basic unit, ampere, Kelvin, candela, mole, all these are examples of basic units. So units of basic quantities are called basic units, and these are all are the basic units. Now second type of units are the derived units. What are the derived units? The units of the derived quantities are called derived units. The units of derived quantities are called derived units. So here are given the examples of the derived units. All these are the derived unit. For example, meter square, meter cube, meter per second square, kilogram per meter cube, Newton, joule, Pascal, watt, ohm, volt, coulomb. All these are the derived units. And there are so many other derived units. So units of the derived quantities are called derived units. And all these are the derived units. Now we are going to discuss the basic units of different systems. Basic units of different system. For example, we have four popular systems, that is SI system, MCAS system, CGS system, FPS system. We are going to discuss their basic units. Here is given a chart of the basic units of all these four systems. These are the basic units of SI system. These are the basic units of MCAS system. These are the basic units of CGS system. These are basic units of FPS system. For example, meter, kilogram, second, ampere, Kelvin, candela, mole. These are basic units of SI system. Meter, kilogram, second, these are basic units of MCAS system. Centimeter, gram, second, these are basic units of CGS system. Foot, pound, second, these are basic units of FPS system. So this is a chart of basic units of all these four systems. Now we are going to discuss derived units of different systems. Different systems, they have their own derived units. So here is a chart of derived units of all the four systems. That is SI system, MCAS system, CGS system, FPS system. Here are given the derived units of these four systems. For example, these are derived units of SI system. These are derived units of MCAS system. These are derived units of CGS system. These are derived units of FPS system. That is meter square, meter cube, meter per second square, Newton, joule, watt. These are derived units of SI system. Here is derived units of MCAS system. That is meter square, meter cube, meter per second square, Newton, joule, watt. These are derived units of MCAS system. Here are derived units of CGS system. That is centimeter square, centimeter cube, centimeter per second square, dyne, erg. These are derived units of CGS system. Here are derived units of FPS system. That is foot square, foot cube, foot per second square, slug. These are all derived units of FPS system. So this is a complete chart of all the derived units. You can see it. So these are the derived units of the four systems. Next is how we get the derived units. How we get the derived units? We get the derived units from the equations. Every physical quantity has its own equation. So from that equation we get the derived units of that physical quantity. So here are given different examples how we get the derived units. First is the area. Area is a derived quantity. How we get the derived unit of area? Area is a derived quantity. Its unit is meter square, and meter square is a derived unit. How we get this derived unit? The equation of area is length into width. Length into width is the equation of area. So how we get the derived unit? Unit of length is meter. Unit of width is meter. So length is a distance, width is a distance. So unit of length is meter, width is meter. So meter into meter is meter square. So meter into meter is meter square. So meter square is a derived unit. We get this derived unit from this equation. So area has this equation. From this equation we get the derived unit. So we get the derived unit from the equation. So every physical quantity has its own equation. From that equation we get the derived unit. So this derived unit we get from this equation. So area is a derived quantity, its unit is derived unit, and this derived unit we get from this equation. And this meter square is written as m square. So this is a derived unit we get from this equation. Next is volume. Volume is a derived quantity. Its unit is meter cube. This meter cube is a derived unit. How we get it? The equation of volume is length into width into height. So unit of length is meter, unit of width is meter, unit of height is meter. Meter into meter into meter is meter cube. And meter cube is written as m cube. So this derived unit, this is a derived unit of volume. So how we get this derived unit? From this equation. So we get the derived unit from the equation. So this is the equation of volume. This is the equation of volume. From this equation we get this derived unit. Next is speed and velocity. Now speed and velocity both have the unit meter per second. Both have the same unit, meter per second. How we get it? So the equation of speed is distance divided by time. Now the unit of distance is meter and unit of time is second. So meter per second. Meter divided by second is written as meter per second. So now this is a derived unit of speed and velocity. How we get this derived unit? From this equation. We get this derived unit. And this can be written as m divided by second. M meter per second in short form. So this derived unit we get from this equation. Next quantity is acceleration. Acceleration is a derived quantity. Its unit is meter per second square. This is a derived unit. How we get it? Acceleration has the equation velocity, change of velocity divided by time. This is the equation of acceleration. Now change of velocity have the unit meter per second. This is the unit of change of velocity, meter per second. Put this value here. So unit of change of velocity is meter per second and unit of time is second. So meter per second divided by second, this becomes meter per second square. Now meter per second square is written as m divided by second square. Now this is the derived unit. How we get this derived unit? From this equation. We get this derived unit. Next example is the force. Next example is force. Force is a derived quantity. Its unit is Newton. And Newton is equal to kilogram meter per second, second power minus 2. This is a derived unit. How we get it? Now the equation of the force is F is equal to ma. Now unit of mass is kilogram. And unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Put this unit here. Put this unit here. So kilogram meter per second square. So this kilogram meter per second square can be written as kilogram meter second power minus 2. This is the derived unit. We get this derived unit from this equation. And this derived unit is called as Newton. So this is the derived unit of force. And this derived unit we get from this equation. Next quantity is density. Density is a derived quantity. Its unit is kilogram per meter cube, or this can be written as kilogram meter power minus 3. Now unit of mass is kilogram, unit of volume is meter cube. Now this is the equation of density. Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Now put this unit of mass kilogram here, we get this. And put unit of volume, that is meter cube here, we get this. So unit of mass is kilogram and unit of volume is meter cube. Now this can be written as kilogram meter power minus 3. This is the derived unit of density. How we get it? This we get from this equation. Next example is the work. Work is a derived quantity. Its unit is Newton meter, and this Newton meter is called as joule. How we get it? Equation of work is force into distance. Now unit of force is Newton and unit of distance is meter. Unit of force is Newton and unit of distance is meter. Now this Newton into meter, this is a derived unit of work. How we get it? This we get from this equation. And this Newton into meter is called as joule. Joule is a derived unit. We get this joule from this equation. So we get the derived unit from the equation of the physical quantity. So these are the examples of different derived units. How we get these derived unit? We get the derived unit from the equations. Now we have discussed in this lecture the units, types of units, and how we get the derived units. So in our today's lecture, we have discussed the units, types of units, and the basic units of the four systems, derived units of the four system, and then at the end we have discussed how we get the derived units. Thank you.